Warriors, and welcome to another week with me, Susie Barolo, Certified Life and Wellness Coach. And I am here to bring you your final blogcast on parenting. The month of March we spent on a lot of wonderfully empowering topics about parenting, and I hope you've caught them all. If not, go back. They're always there on my YouTube channel, SoundCloud, or website. Today we are digging into the 5 pillars of parenting, I'll call it. I have the 5 pillars of wellness, and I like thinking of my parenting journey from the 5 pillars, thinking about the 5 pillars of parenting guiding me forward too. And it is helpful in many ways because things that I will dig into. I'm having some technical difficulties, but that's part of the whole journey of being a life coach, that everything's here to teach me something. I have printing difficulties, and usually I print up my blogcast and then I read from it, and I've been wanting to do it a little more natural, and so of course my printer's broken, so thank you, universe, I get to do this a little more natural. So bear with me, and we're going for it. And if you want the scripted, edited version, you can always go to my blog and read it in writing. But so for the 5 pillars of wellness, 5 pillars of parenting, I think of these pillars as guideposts leading me on a path as a parent. When we think of parenting, when we think of disciplining, most of us think of discipline as synonymous with punishment. And I would like us to bring discipline back to the original word disciplinary. I think it's spelt in my blog, you can look at it. But its original roots mean to teach. And when I think more of parenting as my role as a teacher, and my role is to impart knowledge and give my children skills and life skills for life versus punishment, I really open myself up to a much better relationship with my kids, and it actually makes parenting a whole lot easier. So with that in mind, who doesn't want parenting to be a little easier, especially in the teen years? Teens have such angst written around them, and I have found nothing but joy in parenting my kids when I come from it with these 5 pillars, and the understanding that discipline is actually means to teach. I am here to teach my children, not to manage them into some little form that I want them to be. And so the first pillar that I'd like to talk about is curiosity. I'm backing up. The first pillar is kindness. Everything starts with kindness, Susie. Kindness to ourselves, kindness to everything. And so first of all, kindness to yourself, knowing that you're doing the best that you can. Kindness for your kid, knowing that they're doing the best they can. While it might seem ridiculous to you to think of kindness as a disciplinary tool, it absolutely is possibly the most important. Why, you ask? Because change starts with compassion. You need kindness. Think back to your own life. When you've made changes from a critical, shameful place, those changes might last for a little bit, but over time the behavior returns because you don't have that inspiration to change. It's not coming from this kindness to yourself. Also, when you think back to life with your parent, or if they're disciplining you from a place of fear, you might make changes based on fear, but it's more from a F you, mom and dad, okay, I'll do that, but you aren't thinking of changing your behavior, you're just looking actually for a way to get around it. So I want you to go back to kindness when you start as a parent. Think of some of your most awful parenting moments. If your kid's face was a mirror, would you like to see reflected what they're seeing? And what if your kid was a tape recorder and they could record what you were saying to them when you were saying it from a place that wasn't one of kindness? Would you like to repeat that or replay that and see how you've sounded? Can you even remember what the issue was? I'm sure you can think back to a time where you've lost your SHIT and you've lost it on your kid and yelled or whatever, and thinking back to what you would have looked like yelling at them and what you would have said. Often you can't even remember the issue, but people remember how they feel when they leave us, not what we say and not what we do. So let's get back to that, and that's also where it comes from kindness. When I enter into an open understanding with my relationship with them, and I don't expect them to know better, I don't expect them to act differently, I just see them who they are and in the experience that they're having in life. I'm not making it about me, I'm not making their behavior about me. I can really enter into parenting in a much calmer, more connected place. If I yell at them and they make a mistake, I'm actually teaching them to be critical towards themselves too. I'm teaching them, okay, later in life, when you make a mistake, yell at yourself. That'll solve it. How many of us do that now? Well, it doesn't take much to look back to see where we got that from. So first pillar of parenting, kindness. Second pillar of parenting is unconditional love. Remember the tree analogy from last blog? You are that nourishing dirt that strengthens their roots. You are here to pour love on the child you have been given. You are not here to change that child or mold them into some version of mini you. Or to like live out the childhood you always wish you had. No, your child is your child and they are perfect in their imperfections, okay? They are not this perfect being, but they are perfect for you and how they have come to you, and your role is to pour love on them. It is to pour love on them when they don't make the team. It is to pour love on them when they do make the team. It is to pour love on them when they get that low or failing grade. It is to pour love on them when they get that high or highest grade in the class. You pour love on them no matter what they do. You love them because they are here, and that is enough. That's enough. Unconditional love means you let go of that thought, what will other people think? And you think more, what does my kid need? Okay? Second pillar of parenting, unconditionally love the hell out of your children. Third pillar of parenting is curiosity. Whenever we look at a place from curiosity, it will neutralize the situation. Think of the last time your child threw a fit, no matter their age. If you ask yourself, I wonder why they're doing that, or I wonder why they're acting like that, you will be better able to parent, guaranteed, than if you ask yourself, what is everyone else going to think looking at him like that? Oh my gosh, what people must be thinking that my son is lying on the floor screaming, okay? That's not going to get you places. Curiosity more into, what does my kid need? What is he showing me here in this moment? Using curiosity about what their behavior says about them in that present moment allows you to discipline them calmly, teach them calmly, turning what's happening, what they're doing, their behavior, into something about you, or into something about like, oh my gosh, what this must mean for their future, will land you pretty quickly in the land of reactive and out of control parent. That's not a great place for disciplining. You usually end up yelling and being that mirror and the tape recorder that you don't want to replay to yourself. Okay, next time they have any sort of behavior that you find yourself getting reactive towards, try to get curious about what their behavior is telling you. Ask yourself, I wonder why they're acting the way they're acting, or I wonder why they're glaring at me in that way. I wonder how they scrunch their face up so much and give me that look. Or I wonder why they don't want me to get out of the car when I drop them off at their girlfriend's house. And get to that place of curiosity, and you will be a calmer parent. Understand, here's a big one, understand that if they're acting badly, they're feeling badly. If they're acting badly, they're having an internal state that is nasty. So move away from taking things so personally and making it about you. Move away from thinking that their misbehavior means something about you, and it's something you have to do. Close your mouth, open your ears, and put on, I'm back. Close your mouth, open your ears, and put on your detective hat and figure out, hey, I wonder what this is telling me. Let me learn about my kid. Let me learn about this situation. Okay? Number 4 on parenting pillars is start over daily. Parents have the best intentions. We do. We love our kids, and we usually have this vision of what our home will be like, what our parent-child relationship will be like, all of this. We're just like, oh, oozing love for this kid. That's great. However, life happens, okay? And our reality is often very different from that vision. And we might lose our shit, and we might be yelling at our kid. You might listen to this and be like, oh yeah, Susie, I got it. And then in 10 minutes, your kid does something and you're like, rah. Okay, start over daily, every day. What to do? You start over with kindness and awareness. Kindness to yourself, kindness to your children. Routinely, multiple times a day, I ask myself, how do I want to be as a mom right now? How do I want to be as a mom right now? My kids might come home and I might have spent time cleaning and they come in with their muddy shoes and I'm like, oh, my first reaction is to be like, bleh. But then I'm like, how do I want to be as a mom right now? Happy that I see them after their day at school? Happy, yeah, okay. What do my kids need from me? That's another question. So 2 questions I routinely ask myself multiple times in a day is how do I want to be as a mom and what do my kids need from me? This makes me aware of 2 important pieces when I am looking to discipline my kids or teach. Discipline and teach, same thing. 1, I look at my own motivation. Before stepping in to teach or discipline my child, I make sure I'm fully aware of what is driving my emotion, my feeling state, and my desire to change their behavior. As a parent, I am here to teach my kids and to help them build life skills. I want to make sure that this is where my motivation is coming from versus an issue from my past or maybe something that's happening presently in my life. Like if I'm stressed at work and I come in and my kids, they could say something pretty neutral and I might bite their head off if I'm not aware and stepping back into my role as a conscious parent. The second thing I want to keep in mind as I start over daily is I want to keep in mind my child's brain. No matter your kid's age, you will be a better parent if you were aware of their brain and what stage of development it's in. Duh, right? That's like saying no matter the age of our kid, our child's teacher is going to be a better teacher if they are aware of the subject matter and the level where our kids are in school. Like it's just a no-brainer. You will be a better parent if you're aware of their brain and what their brain can handle and how their brain reacts to certain things. I will not dig into the different stages of brain development in this blog because that would be quite long, but I am here as a resource for you. This is what I do. I love studying the brain, and that's something I would do individually. For now, I would like you to pause and just ask yourself how much you know about your kid's brain and their area of development. And when I say I'm a resource for you, I'm a resource for one-on-one coaching for sure, but I also have, in addition to the book that I'm recommending this week in the blog, I have multiple books to recommend. Recommending in the newsletter. I have multiple books to recommend on children and brain and getting aware of where they are. But have a beginner's mindset with your kids. Start over daily. Your children change all the time. Their needs change all the time. Where are they right now? What does your kid need from you? Getting back to that question that I asked myself. What are they experiencing? What are they thinking in this minute? When they come home with muddy shoes in the house and they aren't thinking, oh, mom just spent time cleaning the floor. They're like, thank God I'm home. It's been a long day. Blah. And what do they want? Do they want their mom to be like, what are you doing? The floor is very important to me. Or do they want me to be like, hey guys, I'm so glad you're home. What happened today at school? How was it? Whatever. Start each day fresh with kindness towards yourself and towards them. The 5th pillar is one that I have possibly mentioned in every blog and every blogcast that I've done. Emotional responsibility. Yes, people, it all comes back to this. Managing your mind. You are responsible for how you feel. There are multiple ways to say this, and I have said this in multiple ways, but the message remains the same. No one on this planet can make you angry. No one can make you sad. No one can make you upset. No one can make you disappointed. No one can make you embarrassed without your consent. The thoughts you think create the feelings you feel. Okay? In regards to your kids and parenting, take back responsibility for how you feel. Please don't be that parent that is passive aggressive and manipulative and says, you made me so sad because you didn't blah, blah, blah. Or I'm so angry because you blah, blah, blah. That's not correct. That is not emotionally intelligent to say, and you are loading your kids with baggage that is not helpful for them moving forward. It's also not helpful for you to feel that your emotional state is resting in the hands of a teenager or a toddler. Are you kidding? I have a hard enough time managing my own emotional state. I do not want to put it in the hands of my kids. Okay, so take back control for your emotions, your emotional responsibility. Take charge of how you feel. That does not mean that you won't feel angry, upset, disappointed, sad, embarrassed, any of those things. In fact, I'm 100%, 100% positive you will as a parent. You will feel all those emotions, and you're supposed to. Parenting is an emotional time. It means a lot to me. The difference is that you feel the way you feel based on what you're thinking, not on what your kids are or are not doing. Have the courage to step back and see why you're reacting before interacting with your child, before trying to discipline or teach your child. A wise friend once told me, don't misbehave because of your kids' misbehavior. What did she mean? Well, when my kids are misbehaving, it's not okay for me to misbehave. If they're yelling at me, it's not permission for me to yell at them. If they're talking rudely to me, it's not permission for me to talk rudely to them. Their brains aren't fully developed. Mine is, all right? Their behavior is a sign of something that they need. And as the adult, I get to put on my detective hat, go back to the other pillar of curiosity, and figure out what it is. Remember, if they're acting badly, they're feeling badly. Same goes for you. If you're acting badly, you're feeling badly. Step back, go take control of your own emotions, and take charge, responsibility for your emotions, and then come back. Take control of yourself so you don't add fuel to the fire. Your kids have enough going on. I've written many, many blogs on emotional intelligence and responsibility, and there's always something for us to learn and a place to grow. Take your learner's mindset, the beginning, start each day fresh, to see why you're reactive. Slow down when your kids are misbehaving. There's no rush to swoop in and act or change things. Sometimes we feel this rush like, oh, I just found out that he was doing XYZ. I need to say something now. Or like, calm down. Get yourself in a calm emotional state, and then you are able to teach. You want to make sure that you are in a non-reactive brain, and you also want to make sure that your child is in a non-reactive brain. Make sure that you're both at a place where that learning can happen. That's another question I like to ask myself. Is my child able to hear what I'm saying right now? Is their brain reactive or non-reactive right now? When it's non-reactive, they're open and they're ready for me. And then is my brain non-reactive or non-reactive? Let's see what's happening. There's no rush to discipline or teach. When we get reactive, we feel like we have to act right away. Think in the long haul, long game. What do you want your relationship to be like in 10 years with your kids, 5 years? Even in that moment when you're so agitated, think like, what do I want my kids to see if their face was a mirror? What do I want them to record? And allow any piece there that can motivate you to step back into your emotional power is what I want you to do. So there you have it. Warriors, the 5 pillars of parenting. I hope they can motivate you as you plot your path forward on this parenting journey to be a better parent. Remember, there is no such thing as a perfect parent, but there are many ways to be an awesome parent. And really what we're striving for is to just be a little bit better every day in all areas. That's it. You keep going. You're listening to this. That's a great start. Thank you for your patience with my technical difficulties, and I'll see you next week.